Afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world listening to this. And today I have a very special guest. Now, this person is a personal friend of mine and also just an incredible healer and just gifted soul. She just has so much light and love that she brings to our planet. So I just feel so lucky. She works very close with Srikira from Wholeness Talk Radio. So she's one of the main co-hosts. Really, I know she guests on Kira's show a lot. And she's just, you're going to love her. I just know you're going to love her. So you might be able to see her in the background. And Jess, I just want to welcome you to Intuitive You.
Thank you. It is my honor to be here. I'm really excited to be sharing this time, and it feels so spot on and perfect. Thanks for the lovely welcome and invitation.
Yeah, of course. So we were talking a little bit before the show, but how is it that your intuition activated and guided you to connect with Shri and Kira and this work that you're doing now and just your ability to share your light?
Yeah, I love this conversation because it's, who doesn't love remembering their journey and how they got to where they are. And like anybody else, a lot of things happened in my experience. Those of us that are usually really sensitive, intuitive, have any of that desire and want to help in the world, right? Usually go through a lot of stuff to be open and awake. So I did a lot of that. I went through a lot of stuff, and I was finally at a point in my life where, oh my gosh, everything kind of crumbled. I'd finished my master's degree. I had secured a job that was good for me, but there was one that was like, I wanted this job, right? And I was runner up and didn't get it, and whatever, and I knew it was meant to be, but I mean, I crumbled, and it was like everything in that moment. I had been too busy to whatever to really dive into some things and heal. And that was when I started working with an energy healer and counselor that was in my community. And rapid shift, rapid, just like so fast in a matter of a few sessions, and I'd done therapy my whole life on and off, but this was just incredible. And she had shared, this is Patty Markham Peterson, another host on Oneness Talk Radio. So the blessing I had of connecting with her, and she would share some words of wisdom or tidbits here and there that came from Shri and Kira, and I'd always perk up and say, oh, that makes sense, that resonates. And I started exploring their work, and I did, one of their programs, Navigating the Inner Matrix, and then everything they had out there, and it was just boom, boom. Things were just lighting up so fast. And it was like just winning the lottery to find them and this work, and now we have Oneness Talk Radio, and we have all of this expansion. Like, it just keeps going, and their work just keeps growing through those of us, that have also said yes. It's just incredible.
I love that. I love that. And I've experienced some of their work through you. I received a session from you and I just remember being like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Like, I think you call it quantum healing. It gets so many different levels. And I just feel like that's the power of energy work and intuition, because intuition actually connects us to that greater sense of the whole, even beyond the physical. So we're able to move into these other dimensions of just like oneness and light and purity and connection and truth. So I'm wondering if there's a way that you can guide people into their intuitive core, even in this moment, to start to feel what that feels like. Because experience is really the best teacher. One of my NLP teachers told me that. It's like, that's life,
Absolutely. Yeah, I love this, and in this very moment, if you're connecting here live or you're catching the recording, but we can just really in this moment go within, and for me, it's like it always starts with the heart. The very first thing that I'm ever going to do with anybody that's sitting in front of me that wants to work and start connecting to this greater essence is to connect to the heart, because it's the root chakra of our ascended state of being. It is from there that we can open up the ascended chakra system, and we have 12 more chakras that open up, and we are connected directly to that flow of the wisdom and this understanding that goes way beyond our physical. But when we bring our hand to our heart, we are telling the body right in that motion, like, I'm listening, I'm present. And the parasympathetic nervous system starts to just relax. And then when we connect with our breath, in just that moment, we're training ourselves to come back to our center and connect up. So we can just do it right now for one moment. Whichever hand feels right on the heart, the high heart, it's often called, just where your hand naturally is guided to rest, right? That's your intuition. Just trust wherever you're guided to bring that hand, whichever hand, and taking a beautiful, mindful breath, just noticing and following the inhale and the exhale. Taking a few. Noticing whenever the mind wants to wander, just bringing it back to the breath and the heart. And just notice, right? Just for that moment, right? I feel that. You see that? It's like I see you on a whole different level because we stopped and just connected here. And
Mm.
each and every one of us connecting in real time or whenever, we're connecting in this moment. And then from here, that's when you can really access that guidance system, right? If you are seeking clarity around a question, so often we're just trained from a very young age to go to our mind to figure it out. And we are retraining ourselves to come to our heart. Ask that question again once you get clear from
Yeah.
the heart and notice what comes forward. You know, you start getting a different, it's that quiet voice, right? That's always there, but we override it. So we're like tuning back into that.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because as I was doing that with you, I actually got a deja vu and felt my heart. And I noticed my heart was saying something different than my mind's story. So when I say mind, it's like the subconscious part that creates separation that's like judging. So
Yeah.
when you move into the heart, you're obviously moving into love because it's the center of everyone and everything, the way we're connected. So it was interesting to actually kind of witness thoughts from a place of just love and to kind of watch and be like, oh, well, those thoughts aren't really true because the heart knows what really is true. So I think, if anybody else is like me where your mind can just kind of spin, put your hand or hands on your heart and let those thoughts move into the center of your heart and you'll watch them disappear because usually they're just like psychic riffraff, right? Just kind of drifting by, it's like let a stick drift by on a river and let it go.
Yes, yes, yes. I know it's so perfect. And I love that because, right, you lifted right into that witnessing moment. And when we experience that, you can just, yeah, hold that with compassion and the love, but not hang on to the thought. And then, yeah, just let it keep on drifting by. We don't have to fixate on it. But it's so funny. It can occupy our minds so much
Yeah.
that it's just like
Yeah.
it's such a habit, right?
Right.
So it's practice to
Yeah.
keep coming to our heart. So sometimes I feel like I'm not kidding. Even after all the practice I've had, there are days where I'm like walking around like this, to keep.
I've done that before too. I'll literally like walk on the beach and put my hand over her, and then I'll notice other people start doing it. They like just start subconsciously
That's
doing it.
awesome.
And it's just like this understanding, like no words, right? Or like later people will be like, can I just take a picture of you? Because they're feeling the love. And that is the universal language of love, right? It's beyond words. So, we can go to Ecuador or Thailand or anywhere, right? And it doesn't matter what the actual language is you're speaking with words, it's the language of the heart that really is spoken.
Oh, I love that, and it's people feel it, right? They know it. You don't have to say anything. It's being in the energy of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Aw. So I was just feeling children. I know you have some children of your own, don't you, Jess?
I do. I do have two boys, teenagers at this time.
So
Hmm.
awesome. And I just feel like they naturally feel energy at that intuitive level, right? Like they just kind of know that they know. And we have an intuitive child project going on right now, which is really helping to nurture children to be seen and heard in what they're experiencing, because often, like I said, they know something and we just need to create that space for them to be heard and share
That's
what they know.
powerful. I love that. I love that project. That's super inspiring. And I've been getting that ping a lot more, a lot more interest in people coming up to like, how can we support children with their gifts, and it's been interesting on the journey of mine now that they're teenagers. It's, they're still on their journey and boy, they're really humans. They're just really like going through their thing, but they always had since they were like born, you know, that sense of um, knowing what they know, and they do trust it, you know. I can see that difference from having created that space for them, you know, and allow them to have that voice or just think it's just normal, you know. But you know, they had that benefit of growing up with, you know, mom that's like, you know, doing all of this stuff, and they learn it so easily like little kids. I love working with kids. Sometimes, you know, I have clients that bring their children in or people that request those sessions. And in one session, like when these kids are seen, when they're really seen and they experience using some of their gifts, I mean, it's just boom, like they can just do things so fast. They can shift things, they can move through stuff, the acknowledgement that they get, it's just amazing to see. It's so um tender too, because you know, a lot of them are going through so much, you know, they're trying to process just
Yeah.
massive, you know, if they don't have a being around or a place to look to get some of that guidance, you know, it can be really tough for them because they're feeling everything, but they might not have the context or tools.
Right. They don't even know what they're feeling. And anybody listening, if you want to go to www.theintuitivechild.co, you can find information about the classes and the coaching that we're teaching. And Jess, if you have anything you want to add to that as far as the work you're doing with kids, feel free. Um, but really, it's just they're feeling so much, right? So we talk about discernment and being able to set energetic boundaries and calling in the light and letting go of things that don't serve, so you can actually feel your own connection to your own spirit, your own intuition, and not get that interference, because it can be really disturbing. And yeah, like, I mean, even as adults, we have to learn how to work with those energies.
Yeah, that's a fantastic project, and I'm definitely all about it. And it's just makes me chuckle because I keep getting these little pings from all over. You know, a lot of people doing inspired work around this, and it's definitely a passion of mine. So thank you for
Yeah.
creating space.
Yeah, absolutely. So, quick question. How is it that you work with energy? Because as I brought that up, I was like, that's a fun thing to kind of dive into as an exercise of, how do you keep your energy clear and in the light of your intuitive connection, allowing the other things to just kind of be released, or, like I said, create energetic boundaries where they're not coming into your field. I mean, I can share some, but I'd love to know, your process and techniques around that.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll share, and I'd love to hear what you have to share too. And yeah, this could be a whole book, right? But yeah, the clearing and boundary part, I guess I'll start there because that's a huge component, right? We can connect to our heart all we want and our spirit, but if we are carrying around stuff, it makes it that much harder to lift or process. So I think that's like a huge one. And for me personally, yeah, like I do things the medicines of the body, right? Srikira have talked about this a lot lately, and the shield of Zadkiel that came forward. And there's these 5 medicines of the body that come with that, and we become the shield. And I think, you know, you've the physical body, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, and then you've consciousness, the body of consciousness that ignites in the center of this like 4 points. And like, right, the physical needs cleansing, it needs some kind of, you know, follow your intuition and trust yourself, you know. But it might be like, hey, I need a day where I'm just eating some steamed vegetables all day. Or it might be, you know, different for you. How does that look? Maybe it's every morning you just make sure you're drinking lots of water with fresh lemon. But like, really trusting, you know, kind of where you're guided. How does your body need some support? Is it a bath with some salt water? You know, is it a walk outside? So those things are like big. They seem like the basic self-care things, but they need to be really regular to support our body. It can't lift as easily with you know, it's a higher frequency. If we want to be really in touch and in tune with our true nature, with all that stuff bogging us down, we can't, right? So um and then like energetic practices with the energy part, there are so many techniques and practices that can really support. And, if anyone wants to email me, I can share the container practice with you quickly, or you can check it out at sriandkira.com. They have like a whole bunch of free practices in their drop down, grab that one or some other ones that make sense, or find something that resonates. But it can be very powerful to cleanse your energy, body, and field. We go around the day, and like we were talking about before, like right, life, there's stuff going on, we're all immersed in it. It's like brushing your teeth. It's like you gotta brush your aura, you gotta take care of that part of yourself, because we pick up little bits of goo. So it's kind of like those things are really important to energy work, because before you work with anybody else or support other people, you also want to be in that state where you feel that. And it doesn't mean you don't ever like feel yucky or have like a down day or something, but it's that you can use those tools to support yourself to lift through it even faster when stuff comes up too. So it's a lot of things there. And then the boundaries piece, like, yeah, it's like making it a priority. Like, you cannot help others, you cannot serve the world in all your ways if you are not taking care of yourself. And if that means you need more time alone, or you need um, certain environment around you that you create that supports you, relationships that support you, it's definitely important to look at that kind of stuff too, and what you're saying yes to, what you're saying no to. Yeah, so those are really good starts.
Yeah, I mean, I know when you say yes to something and it feels right, it's in alignment, right? So it makes you feel lighter, it makes you feel brighter, it makes you feel more of who you are. As far as the energetic boundaries, I can feel like darker energies come in sometimes. And so I'm like, return to sender. So you can just kind of cut the cord, the connection. And then you can actually even deeper than that. It's return to the light, right? Because sometimes the sender may or may not even be aware of it. And
Yeah.
so just return to the light, let it be healed and transformed by God's pure unconditional light of love, right? And then it frees you from it. So I think just that practice, I'd love to see the energetic practice you're talking about. Is there, so you said go to srikira.com, or did you want to share your email if people want to also reach out to you for personal sessions, Jess? I mean, you're just such a powerful healer.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, my email is Jess, Jess, at selfascensionstudios.com. And yeah, if you go to my website, you can contact through the form, or you can just email there directly. But I can definitely share the PDF of the container practice. That was a gift to the world from Archangel Zadkiel, and it's powerful and fast. And it's exactly what you were sharing. You're transmuting the energy back to light and source. It's just treating the energy as neutral, because nothing's really good or bad. We condition it that way, but when we just send it back to light and source, it goes back to neutral, and it's kind of like recycling. Yeah. So it's a good one, and it's really quick but powerful.
That's beautiful. I just actually brought to mind a memory, and if anybody else wants to do this, so maybe a traumatic event, some way you felt disconnected from love, because in essence, as we connect through the heart, we are all love, right? We're all sharing that. But there's moments where we can feel disconnection. And so an emotion and a behavior can follow that, right? So I do a lot of neurolinguistic programming. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's actually reprogramming the mind. But if you all want to take a memory that if you ever had that experience of feeling disconnected from love, see that memory and actually do exactly what Jess is saying. Bring in that light. And what I'm saying, return to the light and just watch everything. It actually returns to a 0 point where whatever that behavior or action or thought or word or whatever was, as it returns to that 0 point of light, what I watched is just everything turn into this white light. So it actually like nullifies the negative experience and brings it back just to love. And then you are in your sovereignty. The other person is, you're whole unto yourself. And there's this ability to create from greater light, because everybody's wholeness is the light, is love, right? So I just invite you to allow that transmutation, which is beautiful, because I remember you used that word with me in your session. You're like, let it transmute. And I'm like, what does that mean? That's what it is. It's like literally changing energy into that pureness of light.
Yep.
So Really cool.
Right, we're alchemical. We're able to do that. We are of the light. We are the love in our native state, right? So, like you're sharing, we get back to that 0 point. It's like it is all love, and then in that moment, as like the script, right, releases or that pattern, you realize, like you're sharing, the sovereignty. Like you take your power back. It's not this energy leak anymore, where you're just like feeding this loop or a memory or a pain, and it just kind of just keeps going, and it grabs, it's magnetic, it grabs other things and it balls it up, and sometimes it's hard to even see it's there, right? It just like it's been there a long time. But it's remarkable when you bring that energy of like the witness, the light, to that moment and transmute it in that process. It's an alchemical process. I mean, we really are so much more powerful than we give ourselves credit for or believe often when we are starting this journey. So I always just say, just play with it, right? Just play with it. What do you have to lose by playing with the light and the love, right? I mean, if it feels good and true for you, there's no harm that can be done. So I always just say, play with these concepts and ideas, because it's just a whole different realm that we're all kind of learning how to navigate and get used to again.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's returning to your wholeness of the light, of the love. I mean, it's just fun because I think, for me, I used to get really freaked out and I still do. Like if I like feel darker energies or something that I don't even feel is me, and it's probably not. I don't think any negativity is really the essence of a person, but it's just energy of disconnection. So what reunites you? Again, coming to the heart, moving up into the witness, and then just bringing in that pure golden light of love, which comes through your crown chakra, the top of your head, which is your spirit. It's your I am presence. And then it's like, returning to I am love, I am safe, right? So the I am activates that presence within. And then that can be a new affirmation moving forward. And then what happens, I teach something called intuitive success coaching. So you basically become the energy that you're attracting. So when you become I am love, I am prosperity, I am joy, all of that, then your life becomes that because you're magnetizing that. And like we were saying, the darker energies that could be residual from other experiences can be transmuted and transformed, and then grown up to current time, right? And then projected into the future. So just kind of playing with that, and yeah, is there
Yeah.
anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I love that you're bringing in that power of the I am, because that is the alchemical process for manifestation, right? Whatever we declare I am, that is what is true. It's the most powerful thing we can say. And it's
Yeah.
where so many of those beliefs and things come from. And like you're sharing, when we can really say, like, I am love, I am the truth, I am, followed by whatever the affirmation is that you're working with. But I mean, you are speaking your reality into creation. Yes. And we are so masterful at it. Most of us have mastered very well, things like I am broke or I am in pain or all of those things. We have practiced that a lot. And I know a lot of us are ready to move into the I am love, I am healed, and to claim that. And that energy specifically is so abundantly present for us to tap into. The I am presence and I am love. It's who we are. It is who we are. I am. And like you said, I mean, to really play with that, really notice where your I am thoughts are throughout the day. It's very telling to just observe with no judgment how many of those declarations you're making.
Mhm. Well, it's funny. I was pulling out some like affirmation cards that my mom made me, and actually one of them is "I am God," and I was like, "Whoa! Like that's a lot." And then last night I sat down, and it was my birthday, so I had like some time just to meditate and be like, "Okay, what is it that I want for this year?" And I realized in that moment, like, I am God. Like you are God. Like God is the essence of who we are, and from the decision we create everything. I was like, well, what do you want me to do with my life, God? Well, what do you want to do with your life? Right? Like we are creating, and our soul, I do believe, absolutely comes with a certain purpose. Like you to have your children, you to do the work that you do. There's certain things I know that we come to experience. And within that is still a choice. Our soul is choosing. Either our conscious mind or our unconscious mind is choosing. So the beauty is to take the power and say, I decide. I decide to create this. I decide to create that. And so just to really claim your power and bringing in that, that golden light through your crown down to your third chakra, which is a couple inches above your belly button. You can even just visualize an orb of light there like the sun. And if you take your right hand and you move it in a clockwise direction, you can open that chakra center. And chakras are just basically vortexes of energy that have your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental like bodies, right? The fullness of you in each of those chakras. So when you activate that third chakra of the I am and the decision presence, you're actually putting into motion why you came here, what you want, and you're creating it from within. And you'll find that your intuition, your gut feeling a couple inches below your belly button will actually move you forward into it. You will feel your body move you into those intuitive yeses or pull you away from the intuitive no's, right? Like I can feel my heart drawing me into Jess, and then my gut says yes. And you probably, I don't know if you're like me, probably feel drawn to her too, right? There's this magnetic pull. And I know when I left my scholarship for college, I could feel a magnetic pull moving me down to La Jolla. Like it literally moved me. So just start to notice where you're being moved from within, and then also where you're being pulled away from, because there's a higher reason. And I think, again, our mind can I know my mind can loop into some thoughts. And lately, my friends and family are like, oh, we're done with the looping thoughts. Like, we love you, but done. Hit the stop button. Go to your heart. And then I always put my other hand on my gut. And when those three parts are aligned, my mind moves into my heart moves into my gut as my compass guiding me. I know I'm in alignment. And I mean, it's been down to the T of knowing when to go and, be moved to the next step. To the point of even getting a new car right before I left Oregon to know I could drive safely, right? So there's just a lot of unfoldment that happens on that higher intuitive level. So I just encourage everybody to listen to that, and to trust that knowing, trust that knowing.
I love what you are sharing, and I'm just listening and smiling because movement to me is so important in our journey of connecting to ourselves. And what you're sharing is just so wise. It's, to really be tuning into the response happening in your body, right? And like how you shared, like that gut feeling, because we've all had that moment where we did something against that feeling and out of alignment, and then we go, oh, I like knew it, like, but I overrode it with, my fears or my inner voices that came up and tried to stop me, and I listened, and then we learn, but that the body really does communicate with us, right? Our truth, our soul, when we are going towards the thing that lights us up, that is part of our purpose, or just, and our purpose can just be joy, right? It's our joy. It's expansive. You will feel a pull towards, and I think of like muscle kinesiology and muscle testing when you're first playing with that, if you hold um, a vegetable, like say it's lettuce, most people that would agree for them, and your body will go, oh, yes. If you put sugar in somebody's hands, like table sugar, there's gonna be a no response, a pull away, and there's a contraction energy to what's not in alignment. So that can just be like a fun way to like just play with it at home, and you can start working on things that are really like would make sense, like a fresh glass of water, or tea, or just things that pretty well already, and notice your body's response, and then you can start playing with it even more when you're making a decision, or like, yeah, if you're choosing to work with a mentor or a guide or a healer or a doctor or whoever, it's like trust, drop into that heart, let that, yeah, like you shared, mind alignment, heart down and aligned with that gut and solar plexus and the trust, and just say, okay, let me feel, what is true for me here, and if it's an issue, to really even know how to trust that, because that can happen, that's just extra cause for more love and a little more time, maybe clearing, and a little time doing some journaling or something that helps you even get connected more. I think our connection right now to our body, to um, the flow, our own, whatever your spiritual path is, whatever you are drawn to, it's so important to be doing it. It's like, no longer can it just be like you put it off and do the other things first. You've got to take care of this stuff right now, or you are going to feel rocked, like a lot of people are feeling rocked. you know
Totally. I'm wondering if there's any energetic, like you talked about that energetic cleansing. Again, I'd be guided to ask you to share your email if you want so people can reach out. And is there a way that you can kind of bring us into more energetic alignment? When you said clear the energetic field, is there like a 5-minute exercise or something that could kind of transform the energy when you say clear the energy field?
Yeah, you want to do something right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, yeah, let's do the living ankh. This is another amazing practice. Again, sriandkira.com. I am sure it's on their homepage, or email Jess at selfascensionstudios.com, and I'm happy to share this practice with you. This is excellent for clearing and balancing, and we're going to be working with the major chakras of the body. So I'll just guide us through, whether you're personally familiar with it or not. Just listen, and we'll walk through it. If you are driving or something right now, please don't do it with us, and come back and listen to the recording later. Check in, like, am I safe to do this? Because you want to be conscious. So yeah, to start this practice, since we're sitting in on camera, it's okay. We'll stay seated, Abby and I. If you are able to at home to stand up for this, standing up's ideal, especially when you're first working with this practice. And it's called the living ankh, because the ankh, if you know it in Egyptian symbology, it's got the staff and the arms and like the loop around the top, right? And the living ankh, or the ascended version, instead of it being one staff, it's split into two. It's got like the two legs, and that is our legs flat on, and our feet flat on the earth. The arms are out, and then this connection up around the crown, and we become that ankh. So this helps us start practicing with running our energy. This helps us clear out the chakras. It clears out the body and invites in healing frequencies and balance. So energy practices, just think of them as you working with the light. You are working with the light and creating through that I am presence, the I am light, I am God, I am love, we're working with that directly when we're doing this. So to start with, I always suggest, again, hand to heart and taking a few breaths. I like to close my eyes personally because it helps me connect and feel and sense what's happening within me. And we take a few connected breaths. And I love to expand on this breath and teach the Avesa breath. And the Avesa breath is simply this connection to our inner wisdom and knowing, and a hail to the empowerment within. It's an ancient Sanskrit word, and we recognize it. So when you do the breath as the Avesa breath, you are connecting, and you are remembering at a cellular level, even in your body, how to ignite the healing and the balance within. So the heartbeat is the Ave. We're breathing, connecting to the heart, and the heart is saying Ave, 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 with each heartbeat, Ave, Ave. And we just connect with that heartbeat for a moment. This is the hail to. When you think Ave Maria, like the song, Ave, hail to. And the sa is connected to the breath. And when we exhale, we use the sound sa. So we inhale, and we're not saying it out loud, but we're connecting Ave. And we exhale with sound sa. And just taking a few breaths there, Ave sa. Sa. So, and as we connect there, and you stand up if you are able to do so, feet flat on the floor, shoulder width apart, or if you're seated, try to put your legs, straight so that the soles of the feet are flat on the floor while you're doing this. And you want to start connecting with the earth. If you're able to do this flat foot on grass, great. But if you're inside, just connect yourself. We're on mountains of snow here, so I just connect myself and feel the ground beneath the frozen layer, right? And just connect there and start noticing, and just bring your awareness to the base of your feet. And you want to be a nice straight spine. And then you can bring your arms out and you hold your palms, they're up or out, like facing, so that there's that ability to connect with the light, and they can be straight out, palms up. And as you breathe through the feet, bring in your mind's eye, in your imagination, you're sensing, you're knowing, however you want to experience this, there's a white light under your left foot. And under the right foot is a gold light. And you can visualize these as spinning discs of light or as lotuses of light. White under the left, gold under the right. And we breathe that up from the feet through the legs, drawing it up, white up the left, gold up the right. Keep drawing it up the legs and breathing. And you can add the Avesa breath if you enjoy that. So, and when you get to the hips, you want to bring that white and that gold light together at the base of the spine, at the root chakra. And that white and gold light spin, and just play with this. If you've never played with this before, just feel it, know it, sense it, whatever. There's no wrong way. Everyone has a unique way to experience, or just play with it and know white and gold just spinning in the root. And you breathe again, and you breathe them into the sacral chakra now, right below the belly button, like right for us women, right? It's our whole creative center and the reproductive organs. And you let that white and that gold cross again here. And then you breathe up, and that white and gold are drawing up into the solar plexus, there below the rib cage, above the belly button. The white and the gold are spinning here. Every time they're spinning, they're cleansing and clearing and lifting. And you breathe them up the spine and feel them intersecting in that high heart. Beautiful white and gold spinning. Breathing them up now into the throat, white and gold spinning and rotating there. Breathing them up to the third eye, up there between the eyebrows, spinning the white and the gold. And then breathing them up through the crown, white and gold, spinning them up and off and out. And then allow yourself just to feel this white and gold infusion travel through your whole body and send it down your arms, your outstretched arms now, and their white and gold light is sending down and out the palms of your hands. Breathe. And here's where I really enjoy calling in a green light into the heart. Just call in a beautiful emerald green light into the heart. Allow that to also merge with the white and the gold, sending it down the arms and out the palms. Breathing. And then bringing these palms to our chest. And just feel the gift. And you are the living Ankh. I don't know, what are you noticing? How's that feel, Abby?
It's just beautiful to bring more light in, and it lifts you up. So it's a grounding that also lifts you up, right? And so I think that's really the proper use of our spirit, right? Feeling safe and grounded in the light and then being lifted up. It's really
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's definitely like the Ankh symbolizes, right, the heaven and earth connection, that there's the horizontal and the vertical planes. We are here on this earth and we have this body, but when we are connecting up to that light and then bringing it, into ourselves, I mean, we are completing the whole circuit. We are then in the flow of giving and receiving the energy and walking in the world, but not being completely like forgetful of the fact that we're much more than this worldly body. So it really activates, and that you can get pretty fast with it too, even where you just go outside barefoot, breathe that light up and send it up and out. I mean, and through you, and notice. I mean, just like if you did that practice every day for say 7 days, 10 days, and notice what it would shift if you just brought in like one practice like that, you know?
Cool. It's
Mhm.
almost like even bringing them up through the chakras. Like I see this like spiral going up like this, kind of like you described through each of the chakras. You did it up the spine, but it's almost like the front side as well.
Yeah, it is. It's through the whole front, back, sides. I mean, the whole chakra system. And it's kind of like a straw, right? And it runs up and down where our spine is.
I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's funny. Just what's actually transforming through me is bringing in the energy of love and forgiveness, right? So I think sometimes we can get quote unquote triggered, like things can happen from the subconscious. And this is just my personal journey, but I've watched it for so long with so many people of, we get this quote unquote trigger, but when we bring our spirit and our light in, it can heal it. So to me, when you did that, it actually moved the energy through, up and out. So
Mm,
again, you don't need to attract those subconscious patterns anymore. You're actually aligning with the light of all that
yeah,
is.
that's
So
awesome. And I love what you shared there. And I think it's why I just love this kind of work so much, because you can take out so much of the effort by by doing some of these practices that are gifts. You know, there are tools, and some of those tools are practices. Some are, if you love your crystals, right? Rudraksha seeds or oils, like, but there are these tools that help us remember and activate, and these practices that are given so purely from love. It's like, wow, you can shortcut a lot of work by doing this. It's like you go directly into that quantum space and activate things. It doesn't go away, even if you think you like forgot it or didn't do it for a while or didn't connect. It's like it's still there. So the second you want to reconnect, it's like you've already anchored, so it's like just keep going, even if you feel like you're out there and you've struggled with doing things for yourself or different practices, or feel like you've been in a higher place before. Like, just keep going, because it's like we do remember. And that's what the whole process of, I think, our spiritual evolution is remembering. We know how to do this. We know how to do this.
yeah, I
It
love
doesn't have to be hard. I mean, sometimes it's hard. I'm not gonna, lie to you. This whole journey can be hard, right? But it doesn't have to be as hard as we make it a lot of the time, right? That's a habit.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I love that. Well, is there anything else you want to share as far as just your work and moving forward from this intuitive place, really to heal and create a life that you love and help other people do, right? That's really the mission of this show is, how you really activate your intuition to be able to do that and manifest the results. I mean, it works every time.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. It's just such a passion of mine to help and support other people to remember their gifts, to touch into that intuition. And it's really what we're looking for is clarity, usually, right? It's like, help me understand myself and understand why I'm here, or my purpose, or what I'm doing. There's got to be more. And if you have that drive in you, um, it can be so supportive to be in either a beautiful group workshop or setting where that's the intention, is that we're all there together and we expand together. Or if it's through like individual mentoring and coaching, people do approach me for like everything across the board from, I'm a medical intuitive too. It could be like a physical issue or disease, and understanding a different perspective and bringing healing into that context, right? It's just wherever people have that opening, right? Whatever it is that's saying, like, I need some love, I need some healing. It could be a belief pattern, it could be a physical pattern, it could be so many different things. But the key is like, are you ready? Are you ready for like that next level of being the alchemical magic maker manifesting into existence, like you're sharing, this is the time to be doing it. Like, what do you want and know is possible for your life and the world, and maybe there's something in between you and it that's just kind of like saying, I need some attention. It's like, do something for yourself to support, whether that's working with me or Abby or getting a book or, trust your guidance, to what you're guided to, but start thinking about how you support yourself. We all need it, like I'm still get support. It's not going to ever stop, right? We all need that because we're working through so much here, so to me, it's just always an honor to, be a witness and co-create and facilitate sessions and groups and workshops because it's incredible, what can happen with some tools, some understanding, and some balancings and things that can just, these are here. They're here for us to help us, when we embrace it, things can shift so fast. They
Yeah.
shift so fast. So I'm just so passionate about it, and it blows me away all the time. Every session I have is like amazing. It's just whatever that person needs is what happens.
I love that. I love that. I just want to open the phone line. So if anybody wants to call in and ask either Jess or I a question, you can call into 858-692-4555 and I will answer it and put you on speakerphone because that's just the way we've had to work the phone system. Jess, are you okay answering any questions?
Oh, that's awesome.
So if anybody wants to call in, go ahead and do that. There was something else I was going to add. Yeah, really how you can shift energy by becoming the new energy, right? So transforming it, moving more light in, and then creating from that place. And your intuition is that gut feeling that will guide you each step of the way. And I love what you said about embodiment, right? So your body is like the messenger, and you will know if something is off because your body might shake or you'll feel like, yeah, that doesn't feel quite right. It is your body telling you the truth. And so really just trusting your body to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's foundational for a lot of us where our healing journey might start. Everything's connected, right? If you work on something with your body, it's going to unlock things for your spirit and soul. It's it's all connected wherever you go to. Like the quantum energy in healing is so laser focused, it helps every level instantly. But for a lot of us, that healing journey, like we have got to pay attention to our bodies first, like taking very good care, so I think it's important to keep reminding ourselves it's okay to like give yourself that extra love and attention that you need. Whatever you've looked for outside yourself, it's time to give it to ourselves right now.
Yeah. Love that. So beautiful. And just the self-compassion. I have, Kuan Yin I work with a lot, and it's just that energy of self-compassion and compassion in general. So, if you'd like, I just invite you to bring in that energy of compassion. So just, just filling your whole body up, filling any spaces or holes that you might have in your energy field with that pure compassion and that oneness really that really does begin and complete in the heart, right? There's really no ending, but it begins and just completes and recycles over and over and over that one heart.
I love it. I love it. And I love the Kuan Yin energy of compassion. She's so beautiful to work with for that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. Well, is there anything else you want to add today for the show, Jess?
I definitely wanted to talk about women wellness awakenings a little bit,
Absolutely.
it's so exciting. It's so exciting. Yeah. So I know Abby's familiar with Women Wellness Awakenings, but if you guys have not heard about it yet, it's really a movement. I mean, I have to say it's a movement towards everything we've been talking about, like the world, um, in a state of balance, each of us heals in our own way and reconnects with the oneness. Together, we are expanding and lifting and holding the door open for many more to discover the same. And Women Wellness Awakenings, or WWA Global, started out as a journey last August with 8/8 the Lionsgate, Divine Feminine. Boom. She has been here on our planet in a big way since then, bringing balance back into the energy field. And that's all right, intuition and everything we're talking about. So this is coming in big time. So this equinox coming up here in March, spring equinox, huge. Divine feminine energy, oneness. It's the story of the eagle and the condor that has woven through a lot of traditions in indigenous cultures from North to South America. It's the moment of balance and that reunification. So WWA Global is hosting a summit, or a festival. Really, it's a festival that's going to be all weekend long in March. And if you go to wwaglobal.com, I mean, you can get in on free community streaming events. You can get the whole weekend pass for like $22. And it's going to be sacred ceremony with the indigenous Kenyari from the Andes, who this is like their biggest moment of the year, and also part of their prophecy, coming back to the lost temple to do ceremony. They are beautiful and will be sharing many gifts with humanity. And there will be also all of this just championing of oneness through different presenters and hosts like us from Oneness Talk Radio. It's going to be like a party, a ceremony. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be so amazing. So I'm like, it's really not even just one of those events where you're like, one time only, or got to do it. I mean, it's like, if there was something you were going to do, I mean, this is it, because we are creating from that moment the equinox hits through the September equinox. We're writing what's going to happen in 2022 and beyond. We are creating that vision of what we want to see in the world. And there's so many opportunities to come into greater alignment, we call it, right? Alignment, like your inner lion, right? Your alignment with yourself. So this is going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm all about it. It's only a few weeks off. Like, check it out. Like, seriously consider joining us. Even if you can't be at everything that's virtual there, that's fine. But like, be a part of it, because we need the beings that are saying, I believe in this human. I believe in healing the heart of humanity. I believe in contributing to that, and it's just gonna be so much. It's like it's already taken on its own pulse, like we're going along for the ride with it. It has become its whole own thing. So thank you. I just really love sharing about it. So please, if any of you are like on the fence a little bit, please check it out and come join us. I mean, why not? I mean, yeah.
So it's WWA. Go ahead and say it again, if you could, the website.
wwaglobal.com.
There we go. Yeah. And I mean, they've supported my show. I mean, it's such an amazing just movement and people coming together and community, and just so amazing. So grateful for everyone. And yeah, just thank you so much, Jess, for sharing that and letting everybody know. It really is like, each person is this beautiful light. And so the more light that comes together, the more the movement grows. So
exactly.
Each person is so important.
Yeah, we're doing it. This is the moment. A lot of us, I think, have known it if we've been on this journey. Like, everything that we have been studying or preparing for has been for right now. And then there's so many more just waking up right now. And they need those of us that have been doing this for a while to be there,
Right.
to just support them and hold their hand. Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, so awesome. I love it. So everybody check that out. And then I always like to ask, is there any last words of wisdom or a mantra or something that people can just carry with them in their hearts throughout today and the rest of their life, really, to just move forward with their intuition and just trust, trust, trust.
Yeah. I mean, trust, that's definitely a mantra in and of itself, to just trust, trust, trust. But I love this mantra, the mantra of self-ascension. In its expanded version is 4 lines. It is: open my mind, expand my vision, ignite my heart, heal the world.
Wow. Thank you, Jen.
So thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
sister.
so much for having me today. It's been awesome to connect with each and every one of you out there, and keep going, just keep going. Just keep going. Our success is guaranteed. Just keep going.
Yeah, so true. Oh, I love it. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Jess. And I'm sure I'll talk with you soon. And everybody have a beautiful day. And we'll see you next week.